you doing?
Well, I couldn't afford a pull-up bar, so I'm using a tough hook. Hey guys, welcome to Gear Tasting. Today I wanted to start off talking about tough hook. As you kind of have seen from the intro, that's what this episode's main focus is going to be about. And the biggest reason I wanted to talk about them is because they've gone through some revamps since we last chatted about them a couple years back. If you'll remember kind of the benefits of tough hook, so this is what it looks like. You've got a big, strong, durable tough hook coat hanger that can do double duty as not only a way to hang your armor, but also flipped around like so, it can enable you to carry your armor, so it makes a nice little handle without you having to grab the top of a coat hanger. So it does make a cool way to transport your armor if you do decide to hang your body armor. Now there's some caveats behind why you shouldn't hang body armor, but you know, in a pinch, or if you've taken it off and you're just looking to get it up off the ground for a while, a tough hook can be a perfect method for doing that. So they did change a couple of things since we last talked about them. So one thing, they're now coming stickered, which you'll see here. But the biggest change that I've seen is that they're using a new injection molding process or material. I'm not quite sure, but you can kind of hear from the sound. So it's a new type of material, and it's actually a little more flexible than their other iteration, but it's still super strong. You saw me doing pull-ups on it. It still is definitely at the advertised will hold over 150 pounds. So I'm like 175-ish right now, and I was doing multiple pull-ups on it, and it was fine. So that's definitely true to form in terms of what they advocate. And I've been a big fan of these ever since they did the crowdfunding campaign a few years back when they launched this thing. So it was developed by, you know, a former Army sergeant, and I'm a big fan of them. They're made in the U.S., which is also great, and they are thicker than most coat hangers, so meaning width-wise. So you might want to keep that keep that in mind when you're kind of hanging stuff. They do take up a significant amount more space than obviously a standard coat hanger, or even some of the other dive hangers that I've got there too. So these can be perfect for dive equipment. That's another great use for them too. If you're hanging up a BC or anything heavy, Tough Hook's a great solution for that. So check them out, toughhook.com. Hey guys, before I start questions over coffee, I wanted to briefly mention the Guardian Group. This is an organization I've recently found out about, and I went to a fundraiser the other night. They had it in kind of north of Fort Worth here in Texas. And the Guardian Group is a group formed by or involved with some former special operations, special forces guys that are combating and fighting human trafficking. So it's kind of a big deal. If you know anything about human trafficking, you'll know that it's on the rise. I mean, they state here that it's the second largest and fastest growing crime in the world. It's modern day slavery, really. And it was important to kind of learn about this, and I'm glad that I was able to understand this a little bit more. Kelly and I went to this fundraiser, and it's a great group of people. We were really enthused to talk to them about it and learn more about the organization. So I wanted to give them just kind of a quick shout out here on Gear Tasting, that if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you're interested in learning more and supporting a great organization, check out Guardian Group. They are a 501c3. I'm trying to look for a website. I'm pretty sure it's guardiangroup.com, but I wanted to make sure. I do not know. guardiangroup.us. So check them out. Okay, first question on Questions Over Coffee comes from Jesse H. on Facebook. I've got some nylon gear and it smells like high school football pads. How do you clean your plate carriers, etc.? So I've been plagued with stinky equipment because I play hockey and specifically goalie, and those pads get absolutely horrendous. I haven't ever found that my kit really gets that way unless I keep it in a bag and don't air it out. So the best way you can clean nylon gear is to simply, take the water hose, take a little scrub brush and some, you know, I dare say dish soap, maybe just a little bit. You want to dilute it a lot. You don't want to just like dump dish soap on your gear. But scrubbing it like that can be a great way to get rid of the odor too. I would hesitate putting stuff into the washing machine. Clothing wise, you can do that. There's actually some specific formulas of wash that we've, I think, even talked about on gear tasting before, that you can put in that retains a waterproof garment's waterproof layer or coating too. So that's always a concern if you're washing stuff. But when it comes to gear, which is what we're talking about, I have used this stuff for years for my hockey equipment, and it's fantastic. So it's called Beek's Reek Out. It's actually started by Pat Verbeek, that was a former Dallas Stars player, and I'm into hockey too, so it was kind of cool. I actually saw him promoting this product at SOFIC a few years back, so he was already marketing it to the tactical community. I was like, oh my God, that's Pat Verbeek. And so I came up to him, and he was like, I can't believe you recognize me. No one ever recognizes me at these things. But anyway, it was interesting. So this stuff is really good, and I'm not just promoting it because I got some free sample or stuff. I've literally been buying this for years personally for my hockey equipment. And recently I couldn't get it for a while, and I switched to a product I was able to get on Amazon for a bit, and then I went back to this. So this works too. I do like the smell of the Beek's Reek Out better, which is why I kind of keep going back to that. However, it is a better value per ounce, if you will, to buy this Clear Gear sports spray on Amazon. Obviously, everything's cheaper on Amazon, and as of the last time I bought this, I didn't see the Beek's Reek Out on Amazon. So this stuff is called Clear Gear Sports Spray. It's a disinfectant. There's also a website here, cleargear.com. But so this is another kind of deodorizer type option out there. And the way that I do it with my hockey equipment is as soon as I'm done playing for the day, I'll come home and just douse the equipment all over with the spray. And it doesn't last very long, but it is a good way to keep the funk down. And I'm very familiar with years of playing hockey and how funky gear can get. So that's definitely something to look into if you're looking for that solution. Okay, last question comes from Ben B on Facebook. Bryan, I have to wear a plate carrier and pack frequently for work. I have padded shoulder straps to help disperse the weight of all four plates a little better. But with or without the pads, I find my pack shoulder straps, be it from the day pack or main pack, not to sit properly on my shoulders. Is there a way to set my pack up better to sit over my plate carrier strap so that it can be made more comfortable, or more importantly, bear the weight properly? So great question. What Ben's talking about and what he's running into is is a common problem, and one that I've kind of tried to work to fix myself too. So when you have a plate carrier on, be it this one or a different one, this is what he's talking about. So he's installed padded shoulder straps like this onto his plate carrier, whereas normally they would be kind of a thin material or a thin webbing. So if you look at this plate carrier, this is the kind of thing he's talking about. So he was running just, straps like this, and decided to, put on some padded shoulder straps so that he's got something that kind of distributes the weight or helps protect his shoulders from the weight. So then the problem lies in that you're now putting a backpack on over the shoulder strap that you've already got on, and the problem is that it can be prone to slip off because it doesn't really have a pocket to sit in, whereas if the backpack was just by itself on your shoulders, it would have more of a pocket to sit in. So the way to eliminate that problem that I've found is really through no way other than being able to really evaluate what you're carrying, and hopefully be able to use one of the commercially available solutions that's on the market to combine both the pack and the chest rig or plate carrier in the same vein. So I'm trying to think if there's a plate carrier that integrates this as well, or whether it's just a chest rig. Because so the things I was going to show you are the Haley D3 chest rig paired with their flat pack, and then the LBT 1961 paired with this thing that I talked about before that I can't remember LBT's number, and I don't want to waste time with that. So that's kind of the solution that I've come up with, but again, this does not have a plate carrier with it. So commonly you'd have, let me just pull out another plate carrier here too. So commonly you'd have your plates on a plate carrier like this, and I really like these slick plate carriers from LBT. This is their 6094 slick. So there's no moly on this, which keeps it lower profile. And yes, you would still have the low profile shoulder straps on there. And the issue here lies in that you don't have any padding on this, but what you'd put on over it if you did have padding would be something like this that is just a piece of webbing rather than a secondary pad that builds it up and allows it to slip off. So you're less likely to get the slipping that you're talking about that occurs with something like this over a traditional padded plate carrier. So meaning if you had this thing on underneath and then the Haley rig over it, you can also probably find that the chest rig will tuck in better on the inside of your shoulder strap, the padded shoulder strap from your plate carrier too, with something like a thinner shoulder strap like this too. So this is like 1.5 inch webbing, and this is, you know, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.5 inches when you've got the pad on with it. So that's just a consideration. The other thing that I've started doing is running this setup too. So this is padded, but it's really low profile padding. So you're not as likely to have some of the issue that we talked about too. So you would put a plate carrier under this, but you know, until a really an all-in-one solution comes around, there's not much that I know of personally on the market. If you guys have some other comments and can help out Ben in the comments, please do so. So I know that Mayflower for a while was offering a detachable pack on, or what's now Velocity Systems, they were offering a detachable pack, and I can't remember whether that was clipped into their actual plate carrier too. So that might be an option you can look into as well. Thanks for watching Gear Tasting. As always, field your questions to the pound tag Gear Tasting on any social media network, and we'll get them answered here on the show. If you like what we're doing, hopefully you do, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel if you're not already, and heading over to patreon.com/ITS Tactical, where we've got some stuff to give you in return for your dollars of support. Thanks for watching.